Okay. Now, let's look one more example for this type. And this time, we have the two angles, 150 degrees and 220 degrees. Can we still find an integer k so that the difference of these two measures is equal to k times 360 degrees? Let's try to set up the equation. So we have the equations 150 degree minus 220 degrees, and this is equal to k times 360 degrees. Now, this guy implies we have the negative 70 degrees equal to k times 360 degrees. Then we divide both sides by 360 degrees. Then we get k equals negative 7 over 36. So no integer solution. Right? So that means these two angles are not coterminal. So let me just write not coterminal. And we know the quadrant angles, which are the multiple of the 90 degrees, and their terminal sides are just on the axis, right? So their terminal side is not in any quadrant. So now, if an angle is not a quadrant angle, we can determine the quadrant in which they lies. So now let's look at the problem 16 on the page 429. Name the quadrant in which each angle lies. So we have the negative 980 degrees. Let's come back to the whiteboard. So we have the page 429, problem 16, and the given angle is negative 980 degrees. Now, we need to determine the quadrant in which this angle lies. So, we first need to find an angle with the measure between the zeros and the 360 degrees, which is coterminal with this given angle. And we use that coterminal angle to determine the quadrant that this arranged angle lies. So now, we know any angle which is coterminal with this given angle can be written as 360 degrees times an integer k, and then plus this negative 980 degrees, right? And we net this angle greater than 0. So we make this greater than 0. Then we try to solve this inequality, and then we can find a value which satisfies this inequality. So now we move this 980 degrees to the right side. We have the 360 degrees times k, which is greater than 980 degrees, right? Now we divide both sides by 360 degrees. Then we have the k is greater than 980 degrees divided by 360 degrees, which is approximately equal to 2.72. Then we may just find the nearest integer which is greater than 2.72. Which integer is the nearest integer greater than the 2.72? 3, right? Yeah, we mean that the k equal to 3. Then, after we take the k to be 3, we can find an angle which is coterminal with this given angle. So we have the 3 times 360 degrees, and then plus negative 980 degrees. So the sum is equal to 100 degrees. Now we find an angle which is coterminal with this given angle with the degree measure between the 0 degree and the 360 degrees. So now you can tell which quadrant this angle is in. Actually, if we draw the rectangle, okay, we can draw the rectangular coordinate system. We know if your degree is between the 0 and the 90 degree, this is quadrant 1, right? If your degree is greater than 90 degrees but less than the 180 degrees, then this is quadrant 2, right? Now, if your degree is greater than the 180 degree but less than the 270, like this, then you have the quadrant 3. And if the degree measure is greater than the 270 degrees but less than the 360 degrees, like this, then you have the quadrant 4, right? So right now, this degree 100 is greater than 90 degrees but less than the 180 degrees. Then we know this angle together with this coterminal angle is, okay, in the quadrant 2, right? So this is how we tell the quadrant that a given angle is in. So first, you try to find an angle which is coterminal with this given angle with the degree measure between the 0 degree and the 360 degrees. How to do this? You set up such an inequality, right? You make this angle greater than 0. And then you solve this simple inequality, then you get a solution. Then you find nearest integer which satisfies this inequality. Then you plug in this integer into this expression, then you get a measure of the angle which is coterminal with this given angle. Then now use this to tell which quadrant this angle is in. Then this original angle is also in the same quadrant because this negative 980 degrees and this 100 degrees are coterminal. They have the same initial side and the same terminal side. So we just use the position of the terminal side to determine the quadrant that angle is in. Any question? Any question?